Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's not close to the theme of Rocky, but it'll do. Welcome, Talkin' Fight fans, to another episode of the Friday Night Boxing Panel featuring yours truly, Mike Orr, and of course, two-time former world heavyweight champ Tim Witherspoon. How you doing, guys?
Great.
Isn't this a rock'em sock'em weekend coming up? I mean, I can't believe how many fights there are. Wow. I was telling Mike earlier, Tim, I was scrolling through BoxRec. I got to like about page 5. Oh, no. He's having technical issues already. All right.
Yeah.
I just before we get started, I just wanted to make a quick little comment. Throughout the week on my new show, I've been telling the world about all the different heavyweights who compete on a world-class level professionally in the heavyweight division. And I got to say, of all the guys I was highlighting, a few names I want to bring out. Sonny Konto from Philadelphia. I'm sure Tim knows the guy. Kolbeinn Christensen out of Iceland. I believe he's undefeated. Frank Sanchez out of USA, let alone Deontay Wilder, who I'm sure we're going to get to in a second. Andy Ruiz, right? He's kind of like coming back.
Yeah.
And I'm not. That doesn't even mention the Pulevs or the Wallens, even Michael Hunter. So there's, roughly speaking, 10 names that I can think of in the heavyweight division that aren't British, but are certainly in contention. Oh, by the way, and I haven't even mentioned my favorite. And yours.
Big baby.
Big baby.
Jared Anderson.
I'm telling you, man, there's an awful lot of heavyweights who are in the top 10 already who aren't British, and an awful lot more below that top 10 who aren't British, but climbing quickly and proving themselves in the ring week after week. As a matter of fact, I forgot to mention, I should have mentioned, in our own backyard where Mike and I live, just a few miles north in Richmond Hill, Zhulang Zhang. He's fighting tonight. He's a heavyweight. I believe he's undefeated as well.
Yes, he is. He's 19-0, and he's taking on Erdogan Karija, who is 18-5. Yeah, can you hear me now, Cam?
Yes.
Could you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry.
So there you go. I just wanted to introduce this by saying we have more than enough to look forward in the next year in the heavyweight division, even without Tyson Fury and the shenanigans involving Anthony Joshua and or anyone else who thinks they're big enough to take on Tyson Fury. He is retired, and that's where it's going to end up right now as of this moment, because I'd rather spend my time talking about some of these other upcoming fights. Yes, one of them is featuring Deontay Wilder, but Mike, why don't you recap us on a few of the big fights coming up this weekend?
Oh my God, are there fights, man? Jesus, let's talk about it, guys. October 15th. If you guys are awake at 4 a.m. Eastern time, you are gonna have the privilege of watching the Paro Jarvis card. Honestly, I need to talk about this one a little bit, just because it's Australia. We got some great fighters on this one. Liam Paro, Brock Jarvis will clash for the WBO Global Silver Lightweight title at South Bank in Brisbane. And this one's going to be live on the Zone, guys, as Matchroom break new ground with their first show in Australia.
Yep.
This is a huge one. Paro, who's 20.
Sorry to interrupt. Isn't Sky Nicholson on that fight?
Yes. You are
one of my favorite female fighters. I think
definitely she's going to be looking to extend that unbeaten streak to 5-0 with this fight, where she takes on Christina Jacobs. And this one, guys, is for the vacant Commonwealth Boxing Council feather title.
Yep.
So this is a great one, man. This is a good one for women. I know that there's a big women card that we are going to touch base on. But this card, definitely one you want to watch if you can get up on that time. Maybe even set a PVR so that you can, record it and watch it later. But Liam Paro, Brock Jarvis, they're fighting for the WBO Global Silver or Global Super Light. Also, Cesar Mateo Tapia. I know that I've profiled this guy before. And then also Abduwale Mayweather. This one is for the WBA Oceania Super Middle. There's a lot of titles on this card, guys, up for grabs. Also, Dempsey McKean is taking on Patrick Corte for the IBF Intercontinental Heavy title. Dempsey McKean, 21-0, undefeated heavyweight there. Another one for you guys to watch out for, definitely. Also on the card, yes, Sky Nicholson. We love watching her. Definitely some great talent. Rounding out the bottom of this card here, we've got Rocky Ogden taking on Ben Cameron Hands for the Australian Super Feather title, along with Dylan and Mirko Pisa for the Australian National Boxing Federation Australian Super Welter title. And to end off and round off this card, man, Jalen Tate, talked about this kid, man, in that light division, taking on Reese Evans. This one is for the Australian National Boxing Federation Australian Light. So this whole card that we're talking about here, Liam Perro, is nothing but title shots or title matches, which always makes for great fighting. We know this.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's one. And then we're gonna we got to touch base on it. We got to talk about the big card that everybody's talking about is Wilder, the Wilder card. We got to talk about this one for a bit. Wilder,
the one shot and it's over card.
Yeah, this is it, man. Wilder has weighed in 20, I believe it's 26 or 27 pounds under what he came in at in the last fight against Tyson Fury.
Really?
Yes. He's also got a new defense that he's been working on, guys. So will we see Wilder pulling off some great defense and some evasive moves in the ring? Shall we see it? No, the champ says no.
I say his defense will be avoid being hit at all costs.
Well, he's doing a little bit of ducking and dodging in that ring there and looking, we'll see what happens.
I say, hey, when okay, or does it slag?
We can hear we can hear you, champ.
Okay,
we can see your lips moving.
So it's just my video. Okay, so there's not that many people around that could to get them back on track with the defense and stuff like that. I would like to see. Now I've seen some stuff, but I see some stuff of them trying to work stuff out. It was confusing, not to me, but the way they was doing it, I don't think they're going to find anybody to do that. It's going to be hard.
We're going to see
movement, getting out of the way of punches, defense where you guaranteed to block the shot when it's close to you, like the old times did. And there's a movement where you move around real fast, like Mayweather get hit. That's a defense. But what is more dependable is the one that you get your body is everything is tight. You catch it, you fight, you counter back. Not movement, like fast movement and stuff like that. That's a defense that anybody could do. But it's harder to teach the one standing there catch. Boom, boom, and that's watching it out that way. So I don't know.
You know what? We'll see. We'll see when it gets underway, guys. We'll see when this gets underway. If you guys need to know, it's 9 p.m. Eastern time, 9 p.m. Eastern, October 15th. Deontay Wilder.
Be happy for him.
I'll be happy to see it too, because you know what? He is one of the greatest knockout artists in boxing history. He's on a mission to become two-time world heavyweight champion.
I'm down with it, but
hey, Tim, if Deontay survives, I'll be happy. I think Hellenius is going to kill him. Literally.
No, okay, Wilder's 42.
I don't know.
2-1 with 41 KOs. He's on a mission to become a two-time heavyweight champion. We know this. His first reign included 10 title defenses. A feat accomplished by only 7 heavyweights in boxing history. The Bronze Bomber now returns to Barclays. And he's ready, man. He feels rejuvenated, and he wants to rejuvenate the heavyweight division when he captures this WBC belt.
I seen them.
So I
seen them. I
seen that he's coming
in action. And video of him, and it was no problem. I seen a video of Malik working with him, but I got not confused. I knew what they was trying. I don't know what they was trying to do, but it didn't It looked amateurish and stuff. We was trying. They're trying to work on defense. They don't have the right person around them.
No, definitely not.
Bottom line.
The defense did kind of look sloppy. From what I saw in these training videos.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw it. It looked kind of sloppy. Yeah.
Okay. It didn't look too good to me. That's what they think defense is. No. That's what they think defense is. It might be this much of defense, but there's a big, you got to get it all. A lot of it.
Yeah.
Hey, let me throw something into the mix here before we move along. I wonder if Deontay's managers are telling him either A, take it slow at the outset, or just go in there for that quick knockout punch as fast as you can, get it over with. Because the longer you wait, the more chances are Hellenius is going to.
I can't believe you said his manager. No, I respect you. You my man. You didn't say trainers. You said his managers. I wouldn't even expect them to even know anything. I wouldn't even talk to them. I talked to them about getting our partners, getting a business partner together. There is some managers and trainers that know boxing, but I wouldn't even answer that.
No.
That was a good question.
I'm only saying that because of his health. His health worries me. I've said it before.
The game plan here for Wilder is going to be lock and load.
Is he sick?
That's what it's going to be.
Is he sick?
Lock and load. No. Remember the last beating he took from Tyson Fury, man. He definitely got some brain damage in that one.
He lost some weight. He lost some weight. Right?
He's coming like 27 pounds under what he was at when he fought Tyson Fury.
How can that be?
Wilder weighed in at 200. Wilder weighed in at 214 and a half pounds for this fight.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's in there at 214. Robert Hellenius is weighed in at 253 and a quarter. So
wow.
Yeah, so Hellenius is outweighing this guy by 40 pounds in the ring. This is gonna be a serious fight, man. And you know what? I don't care about the weight, but maybe Deontay lost that weight to be a little more elusive and evasive in the ring, working on that defense that he says that he's been working on. But we won't find out until this gets underway, guys. So no matter what, you can put up what all training videos you want. You can put up all the crap that you want on social media. But until you get in that ring and show us something different, you ain't done shit different. That's how I see it.
One last thought. The betting pages all favor Deontay Wilder to win this one. Unbelievably. Oh, yeah. I can't believe it. Anyway. Also on that card is Caleb Plant, who's looking to return.
Exactly. That's what I was just about to say. I'm looking forward to seeing Caleb Plant take on Anthony Durrell. This is going to be a great super middle fight. Also on the card, I'm looking forward to Gary Antonio Russell, who's 19-0, taking on Emmanuel Rodriguez. This is going to be a good one. Frank Sanchez, another heavy. Here we go. Taking on Carlos Negron for the WBC.
Is Frank Sanchez unbeaten?
Yes, 20-0.
See, that's what I'm saying, Carl.
Rank number 12. And right now he's fighting for that WBC Continental Americas title this weekend. So be on the lookout for that. There's a couple of great heavyweight matches on this card lower down in the night. You got Giovanni Bruzon, who's 7-1, taking on James Evans, who's 4-0-1, and that is scheduled for 6 rounds in the heavy division. Also, we got an 8-rounder, Jürgen Hovash. Here we go. Hovhannisyan taking on Michael Kofi. This one's going to be a good one. Jürgen, he's ranked 218th in that heavy division right now, but he is 3-0, looking to stay undefeated and move up, man. So we got some great heavyweights coming up here. Also, Michael Rivera, 23-0, taking on Jerry Perez. This one's in the light division. Also, Keyshawn Williams taking on Julio Rosa, welterweight. There's some.
I want to ask you a question when you finish.
Go ahead, champ.
I want to ask you a question. Okay, remember when I was saying about the opponents that Don Wilder beat and knocked out, and they wouldn't last in my career? I could have made not make a mistake. I didn't make a mistake, but I might have judged too soon because it's a different era of opponents. Not like the opponents. When we were fighting, they're lesser, but
Yeah,
they're good. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, definitely.
on these eras, they change. So I criticize the era. I criticize, us. Now there's a new era, so I gotta boom, right? You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's a new era
exactly.
of opponents. It's new era of opponents. None of them wouldn't last. Still the same kind of like in a way, but they wouldn't last. Some of them wouldn't last with. Most of them wouldn't last with us. But there's a new. He deserved to get that in order, that got praise and everything because it's a different era of opponents also, and a different fight nowadays. So you got to look at it that way. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does.
It makes sense a little bit. The opponents are different
era. And you know what, Tim, you came up in the era where boxing was real gritty. It was a real brawler's game. You guys, it was true. Two gladiators entering a ring and one gladiator winning. Very, 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 Romanesque kind of style. It was very, very different kind of time in boxing than it is today. Today is more. All these guys they're being trained and geared up as professional athletes. The training programs and your eating programs and all that kind of stuff is a way different now than it was back then. And yeah, man, I don't think some of today's guys could handle some of the opponents back then, man.
So we got to give them modern day credit.
You do. You got to give them modern day credit for what's been put in front of them. You know what I mean? They're the best for who's been put in front of them today. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. We got to talk about the big card.
Also respect us also. All right, go ahead.
Exactly. Big one that everybody's been talking about. Definitely Haney Kambosos 2. Fight TV, ESPN Plus, October 15th, 9 p.m. Eastern time. You guys aren't going to want to miss this, man. This is a great fight, man. Haney Kambosos.
Don't forget the Ben.
Yeah.
Don't forget Connor.
Oh, we're going to talk about him too. Damn.
I just found out.
Anyways, Haney Kambosos first tangled June 5th in Melbourne as Victoria Racing crowd. 1,129 fans packed Marvel Stadium to watch the world's best light flyweights unify the division. Haney neutralized Kambosos and earned a clear points verdict to become the undisputed champion. Here we go, guys. This is about to get underway. Part 2 of this. Haney, who's now 28-0 with 15 knockouts, returns to Melbourne, intent on repeating his first fight, the victory that propelled him up that mythical pound-for-pound rankings. The dream has been a history-making phenom since turning professional in Mexico less than 1 month after his 17th birthday. He made his U.S. debut in Las Vegas on the Manny Pacquiao card, undercard in April 6, 2016. And at 19, he became the youngest licensed promoter in boxing history. He was awarded the WBC World Championship in October of 2019 and defended that belt 4 times before taking the 8,000+ mile journey to battle Kambosos in his homeland, where he overcame the adversity, and his father and trainer Bill Haney was granted a temporary visa by the Australian government less than 3 days before this fight. If you guys remember this was all this big talk we were talking about a couple months back, and now we got part 2. Kambosos, who's 20-1 with 10 knockouts, became the toast of the sport with a decision verdict over Teofimo Lopez last November, which was named ESPN's Upset of the Year. It was accumulation of a hard-fought journey for Kambosos. He fought in Malaysia, Greece, London, New York, Connecticut, Las Vegas, as he graduated from prospect to contender. For Kambosos, who had 12 of his first 13 pro fights in Australia, the Haney Super Fight marked one of the most significant international sporting events to take place in Melbourne. So, guys, part 2 about to get underway for this one. Unfortunately, it's on the same day as all these other cards, so you're going to have to pick and choose, guys, what fights you're going to want to see out there. For real. Honestly, though, the Haney Kambosos card, there's some great there's another heavyweight on here, Hemi Ahio. I haven't talked about this guy in a long time. He hasn't really been talked about in a long time. 19-0, taking on Faga Opilo or Opilu. This one's gonna be great, man. And I gotta talk about it. Our man Amari Jones
Yep.
is fighting against Tej Singh. And Amari's stepping up for this one, guys. Amari's 7-0 right now. His opponent 16-5-3. That's in the super welter division. Definitely going to be a great matchup. Our man Amari Jones, I know he's going to come through with a big victory on this one. Definitely. The kid eats, sleeps, and lives boxing. Dedicated fighter, man. Dedicated craftsman. You know what it is. David Nika is on the card. We got Hemia Hio. We got Lorenzo Simpson. Chernika Johnson.
She's great.
Yeah, Chernika Johnson taking on our girl Susie Ramadan for the IBF World Super Bantam.
And the winner of that's supposed to take on Miyamoto.
Yes. This is what I'm talking about. So we got some great action in Australia getting underway. I'm super excited for this, man. Oh, guys, be on the lookout. October 21st, we should be streaming Mia's card here on this channel, which I'm happy to say that we're in the works of putting together right now so that you guys can see her fight like I watch her fight, because it's great. She's honestly, seriously, highly decorated female, about to blow up here internationally, about to get known, man, and we're definitely going to be having some fun watching this one along with her. This is gonna be great. The other card we got to touch on, Graham, is got to be the all women's card.
Let's touch on it because it was handled very well by Holly Donovan earlier today. Anyone of your Talking Fight fans out there interested in a full and in-depth explanation of not only the main event, co-main event, but also all the undercard fighters, I highly recommend giving a listen to Holly's show. But let's go with it, Mike. Let's see what you and I have to say about it. I've really enjoyed the press conferences. They've been rather rambunctious. Been rambunctious to say the least.
These girls are heated. Let me tell you, I've watched some press conferences in the last little while, and I'm going to tell you, man, these women are heated. They're standing toe to toe, nose to nose, and they're just exchanging words happily in each other's faces, letting each other know who's the man, who's the woman, and who's going to walk out the winner, man. It's been great. If you've been following it, guys, if you haven't, trust me, there's lots of clips on YouTube that you guys can check out, man, of these press conferences where these girls are meeting face to face before they jump in that ring and battle it out like champions. I can't wait to see this one, man. We all know Shields, the Guat, taking on Savannah Marshall. This is a big one, guys. This one has been talked about for so much time, and you know what? Oh, well, she beat her in the amateurs. Oh, well, she beat. It doesn't effing matter. That's the amateurs. Different boxing game. Both fighters have evolved so much since 10 years ago. Who gives a shit? Stop talking about the amateurs. Talk about who they fought now.
All right. If you had one last dollar in your pocket, who would it be on?
You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to say it because I'm just so sick of it.
I actually think, and Carl will be surprised, my money's on Savannah Marshall.
I think Savannah's going to take this one, to be honest. Savannah has dropped more of her opponents. I do like Savannah's style. She's very, she fights very long. She's got heavy hands. She definitely has a great ring IQ, but we can't count out Shields, man. But if we talk about it, let's be honest. Shields' last fight was so lackluster. Such a lackluster performance that honestly it was a snoozer. I was not impressed. And for the woman to be undisputed in 2 weight classes, only boxer to be back-to-back gold medalist in the Olympics, you got to be doing a little more. Honestly, you got to be going in there. You got to be slumping girls over. You got to be kicking ass and definitively winning these matches, man.
Right.
You should be in there destroying these women. You should be coming through, and you should seriously be able to dominate these people. You shouldn't let somebody that's not your caliber take you the distance. It shouldn't happen when you're at that level. So for that, I'm going to say, you know what, Savannah Marshall, she may take this, man, because Clarissa isn't really that knockout artist kind of fighter. The T-Rex, she's 27, 5'8", 68-inch reach. She is the Guat. Emma Kozin. How does Emma Kozin take her the distance? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't really that, like who's Emma Kozin fought? Who is she proved? Who is she proved? Well, honestly, truthfully, she's got 12 knockouts of her 22 victories. So realistically, yeah, maybe she did deserve to be in there.
Right.
But we got Savannah Marshall, 12-0, 10 of those wins coming by way of knockout.
So let's talk about Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgartner.
Definitely.
Another great fight.
Loving this one.
Oh, Cedric says Clarissa will smash Savannah.
Okay.
Right,
We'll see it.
It's going to be a great fight either way.
You know what? I would love for my girl Clarissa to come through and smash it, because you know what? She's got to put a lot of this talk to bed. That's what she needs to do. If she comes out and literally walks through Savannah, then there's enough said. Then you know what? Yeah, take that title, take that name, Gwat, greatest woman of all time, and roll with it. Tattoo that shit right on your forehead. But until we see these girls fight, you know what? I'm done. Let's move on to the next one, because you know what? Shields and Marshall's been talked about way too much. Too much. Okay, so Michaela Mayer, 17-0, taking on Alicia Baumgartner. Baumgartner, her last couple of outings have been very, very entertaining. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. Very, we got Michaela Mayer, 32, 5'9", 66.5-inch reach. She's been in there with, her last fight was Jennifer Hahn. Before that, I believe she fought Mavia Hamadouche. And then I believe before Hamadouche, she fought Erica Ferris. So, she's fought some notable women here, man, in the last little while. But you look at Alicia Baumgartner, and her performances have been pretty nice, man. In her last three, 2 of them won by unanimous decision. She took out Terry Harper in the 4th round of a scheduled 10-rounder for the IBO and WBC World Super Feather titles. She's taken on Vanessa Bradford. That was a unanimous decision. What do you think? Who are you liking for this one? I'm gonna have to say I do like Alicia Baumgartner. I do believe she's got, she does have what it takes to take this one away from Michaela Mayer, but I think Mayer is just ready for
her. I like Alicia Baumgartner as well. Just going with my gut on this one, because this is evenly split. It really is. It's going to be a tight, just as in the main event. It's going to be a tight fought battle. It's flip of the coin in terms of who you're picking and why you're picking them. And that's why I do like this. How this has been set up. It's almost nationalistic, and it's who you're picking here, except for the remaining fights, which are practically all Team GB members or former.
Caroline Dubois, we got Ebony Jones, Shannon Ryan, Ginny Fox, Chris Artensaw, Lauren Price, Sarah Lehman, April Hunter, and the girl that I profiled today, Georgia O'Connor. There's a lot of great women on here, man.
I tell you what, I am curious to see how Ginny I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Ginny Fuchs. Ginny.
Fuchs.
Want to be careful how you say that last one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced the bad way.
Fuchs. Let's just say Ginny. Ginny, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong here. Was it? I'm pretty sure it was her who during the Olympics was banned or suspended because of sexual activity. Something like that. So it's a really weird story, really backstory. But the point is that she's back in the ring, and I'm curious to see how she goes tomorrow night. That's just a curiosity point. I'm just, the other one. There's a couple of girls that I'm really looking forward to seeing, because we've heard so much about them. We've heard a lot about the Team GB because of the fantastic media coverage they get. But there are some great fighters on that card, on the undercard, who are going to be very entertaining and worthwhile to watch. But boy, oh boy, do we have a night full of other entertainment.
We do. What I love about this one here, the girlfriends, man, Lauren Pricing. Chris
Artensaw.
I love how these two fight on the same card together. They're partners. Live together, box together, and now fight together. It's great. They're usually where you see one, you see them both, right? So this one's going to be good. I can't wait. This is a good card. Ginny, though, she's 1-0 with 1 knockout, right? This is going to be her second fight.
Yep.
She's 34, southpaw, 5'4". She's taking on Gemma Ruig. who is 5-4, right? 50% fighter here, 50% win kind of fighter. So I guess this is kind of like a little step up for her, kind of test her to see where she's at. Definitely after her last performance, she did take on, I believe it was Randy Morales, who was 4-3 going into that one, and she won that by KO in the 4th round, man, late into that one, and that was scheduled for 6. So I'm kind of curious to see how she's going to do in the ring. I can't wait to see her get back in there. I'm excited for this one.
Me too. As I said, notwithstanding the 2 main events, if you will, the undercard is packed and it's solid. I'm going back a step there. I am curious to see how Caroline Dubois fared, because she's stepping up from her Olympic showing, and she's got some what do you say, boxing in her blood, kind of.
Definitely. The Dubois are heavy in that game for sure.
Right.
She's taken on 41 ranked Melina Koleva.
Yeah.
She's 10 wins, 14 losses, 1 draw. Definitely somebody who's I guess we'll call a gatekeeper or level keeper, big boss. You want to get to the next level, you got to pass the levels boss. This is pretty much what this is looking like for her. Caroline, she's 3-0 right now. This is only her 4th fight as a professional. She's stepping it up, man. That's what I like. I like to see this. She's challenging herself. This is going to be a great fight. So, guys, if you do tend to tune into this one, make sure you check out some of the undercard. Don't just sit there and tune in for the last, because I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of great fights on this all women's card. Honestly, Caroline Dubois, Ebony Jones, Shannon Ryan, Georgia O'Connor, Ginny Fuchs, Chris Hartenstall, Lauren Price, Sarah Lehman, April Hunter. These women are all the future. The future. They're the next 10, 15 years of boxing, these women, man. So these are names you guys are going to hear for the next 10 years in women's boxing. So make sure that you check them out. Give them the opportunity, to get known, man. Give them that opportunity by watching them. You will not be upset.
We will, and certainly let's not forget about the Australians that are fighting down under, and also the Americans and the Canadians.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, we haven't heard of her lately, but Mary Spencer's got an unblemished, undefeated record. I think she's 7-0 now. Yeah. So the women's boxing within this past year certainly churned it up a notch. I can't believe it. I mean, just last year we were talking about whether we could help them, and now it seems like they've really eclipsed what we're doing on their behalf. Great stuff out of the women, and it's heart and soul type of fighting. That's what we like. They tend not to leave it in the hands of the judges. They tend to go for it. We've had more than enough interviews with women fighters who tell us, that they brawl with the best of them, but they know how to fight. Is the point? They know how to fight, and they've been taught well. They've been trained well. They eat well. They live well. They live to fight. They fight to live.
Yeah, definitely. Other than that, there is one more card, guys. If you're ready for this one is going to start off your Saturday. McGrail, Espinosa.
All right, yeah.
The Pro Bellum card getting underway 2 p.m. Eastern time. Peter McGrail says victory over Alexander Espinosa will be the launch pad towards title fights and big things next year. McGrail shared a final stare down with Nicaraguan puncher Espinosa at Friday's weigh-in ahead of the headline fight on Pro Bellum Liverpool 2. Future world champion has only had 4 fights as a professional, but the Liverpool Indian stellar amateur career means he is ready to be moved quickly towards title class. And McGrail, who tipped the scales at 124.2 pounds at the Olympia, knows a win over the experienced Espinosa will catapult him towards fights with domestic rivals Jason Cunningham, Liam Davies, and Gamal Yafi. Fighters, the Everton fan, is already confident of beating. He's already confident in this. At the moment in time,
I think Peter McGrail's brother's on that fight too.
I believe, the McGrails are both on here.
They're both on that. They're both on that card, and I think both of the Gaffais are on that card as well. Yafal Gaffai and his older brother.
On this one, we have on this card. It's headlined by James Dickens.
Jazza Dickens.
Yeah, Jams Dickens. and Loreto, and then Loreto Dalamini. And this one's for the IBO.
That's gonna be a good fight, guys. That's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Both these guys, man. Dickens is 31-4. Dalamini is 18-1. This one's for that World Feather title, IBO. McGrail, Alexander Espinoza. Joe McGrail is taking on Alexander Taylor. This one, Joe McGrail is only 5-0. He's stepping up, man. He's fighting Alexander Taylor, who is 20, 36-2. So definitely has a hell of a lot of ring experience.
Been around the block.
Yeah, been around the block. He's been there. Steve Cairns, who's 3-0, is taking on Angelo Turco, who's 8, 26-2. Then we got William Colley, who's 2-0, taking on Angel Chavez, and John Edwardson taking on Simas Volasinas, who is ready for this one. 7, 103-0.
He's been around the block twice.
Yeah, that tomato can's been open. 7,
must be
100.
rich.
Oh yeah. Then we got Blake
Must
Highland
be
taking on
rich.
Mikey Young. You know what? It sounds like that tomato can's been open once or twice. That's what it sounds like to me. But guys, don't forget, without tomato cans, we wouldn't be able to test and display the talents of the up-and-coming fighters. As much as people don't understand it, we need them in boxing. They're there for a reason, folks. So just because his record, he's got 103 losses, doesn't mean that he doesn't know what he's doing in that ring. He is being used to test the young, to put them through their paces, to help them learn how to fight in the paid ranks. It's he's going to put the pressure on him. That's what he's there for. He's to put pressure on this prospect to make sure that this prospect can, provide the same kind of accuracy in his punching and his striking that he can when he's not under pressure. This is a test. This is definitely a test and a showcasing. We're going to see great fight, and we're going to see this kid get pushed by this guy who has 103 losses, man. There's a reason why they keep bringing this guy in, because he's meant to take these kids and help them get to that next level.
Maybe
Definitely.
durable.
Yeah, definitely. That's there's not much going on other than we got to talk about the Canadian card because we're from Canada.
Yeah, let's talk about it a little bit.
Right.
Mainly it features 2 heavyweights.
Yeah, 2 heavies. Erdogan Kadrija, who is 18-5, will be taking on Jun Long Zhang, 19-0.
19-0.
This one here is at Richmond Hill. This one, Ontario Athletic Commission. I can't wait to see this, man. This should be good, man. Lerone White, Haider Ali Khan on here, Magomed Mogaharbi. There's some names on here, guys, that you might not know. We have a fighter that we've talked to that that I'm talking to about getting on there. An Ontario boxer, Michaela Miller, is on this card. He's taking on LaRon White. Shout out to him, man. Hopefully you come through. I know he just got back into the gym and got back to his old ways, training real hard. So after his last fight at Rebel Entertainment Center that we were at and saw him, he looked really, really good. And he's definitely got a new spark in his training, man. And he says he's gonna come through with a victory on this one. And he's not on the A side right here. He's on the B side of this card. So he's been put up there to maybe lose, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think our man Miller's gonna come through the victory on this one because I know he's hungry.
Oh man, I was just about to fall into Tim's lap and say, okay, let's talk about this Connor Ben fiasco, and then he loses his connection. That's too bad.
I know.
But I'll if you are finished with the roundup of the
we're finished with all the fights.
We've got a few minutes left in the show, and I wouldn't mind touching on it. First of all, my heart goes out to the guys on the undercard who got displaced because of the shall we say suspension. Some say it might be postponed. Some say it might be canceled. But at the end of the day, Conor Ben is an idiot. You cannot tell me that he got tested positive for any other reason. He certainly wasn't looking to get pregnant.
Nope.
So
It's just the land out.
was he looking to mask his steroids? Take a look at the before and after pictures of the guy's body. I mean,
Right.
come on, Connor. At the end of the day,
at the end of the day, the way I see it is, if you got this stuff in your system and you don't know, then there's a serious problem. There's a serious problem with your team. If you're not voluntarily taking this, and your team is slipping this to you without you knowing, then you're an idiot. It's ridiculous. Man up, take the damn punishment, and get on with it. Because honestly, it's a disgrace, man. Look at all these people that spent money out of their own pockets to pay for training camps, to pay for travel, to pay for sparring partners, to pay for all this kind of shit, just for what? For one guy to take some drugs so that he can boost his own confidence. He can boost his own confidence. Get in that ring. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's too bad.
He's failed the second drug test.
Well, and it's coming out that he failed a first drug test back in the wintertime. So, 8 odd months ago. So, notwithstanding the Conor Benn idiocy, and I hope I never hear his name again in the fight world. We don't need those kinds of fighters. It does make me wonder, though, whether or not Matchroom should do the right thing, have all their fighters on their roster tested, just to prove to the rest of the world, to all boxing fans, that just because there's one bad apple, it doesn't ruin the entire basket.
Sugar did mention it on Wednesday, if you guys remember. Usually when there's one in the hen house taking it, they're all in the hen house taking it. I'm not saying, and I'm not accusing that the entire Matchroom stable is using shit, but what? Where there's one, there's gonna be two.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Exactly.
And so all I'm saying, if I were Eddie Hearn, what would be the harm in asking all of my fighters to go get tested, prove to the fans that you guys are clean and you're ready for your next fight? To be fair to those fighters who you're going to be up against, prove it to the world that you guys are clean, period. And that actually would lead the way for all promoters to have all of their rosters take those tests. As I pointed out on the news show, the people doing the tests are basically under the control of the British Board of Boxing anyway.
Yeah.
So, why it came to light 2 days before the fight is another question. Very, very peculiar that it would come out in the way it did. Peculiar that he wasn't going to take that second test. So there's a whole bunch of
the problem is now, though, if you got to think about this too, problem is now his name is sullied. It's even if you come back from this, even if it finds out that he didn't take it, it was some mix up. However, it's always going to be in the back of people's minds now. There's always going to be that doubt. Hey, no matter what, if you can prove that it's wrong, and you can prove that there was some mix up in the way of handling or whatever, and you get found innocent, at the end of the day, that's still going to be a little asterisk beside your name stating that you caused this whole event to be canceled. Canceled.
There was for those of us who are old enough to remember, there was a sprinter by the name of Ben Johnson, who got caught after being tested, after winning the gold at the Olympics, and was immediately stripped of his gold medal.
Yeah,
there was no, hey, this test might be wrong kind of stuff.
No. They took that and handed it to Carl Lewis, who came in second.
So at the end of the day, that's what I'm thinking. But far and wide here, I think, in terms of the tentacles of the boxing industry, we've often been accused of all the various nefarious activities that take place behind the scenes, whether it be gloves, whether it be pepper, whether it be Well, Tim could know more about this than I ever would. But at the end of the day, you've got all these kinds of accusations being leveled at the boxing industry. And yet, just when we think we're coming out of the woods, along comes Conor Benn. Like, what the heck was he thinking? What were his trainers thinking?
Yeah.
Now, more importantly,
I'm sorry
what is
that my
Matchroom
phone-
thinking?
I'm sorry that my phone was going. It won't happen again. Sorry for all the audience. I
worries, no worries.
apologize.
All right. Keep your phone steady. And
I know you're talking about Conor Benn.
we are.
Huh?
Yes, you are talking about Conor Benn.
Everybody is. We just talking about him with somebody talking about him about an hour ago. What the guy that's doing YouTube channel. And he said, them kids are strong. Both of them are strong, but Conor is a little bit stronger than his opponent. It's stronger than him. Huh?
Yeah, then Eubank, right? Honestly, I was taking Ben for this one, man.
Yeah.
I thought Ben was going to come through, and Ben. You know what? I'm very impressed with Ben. In the last couple of fights I've seen with him, man, I love his aggressive style. I love the way he comes in. I love the way he just, no holds barred, leaves it up. This is upset me. Like, this has made me mad. Like, come on, man. You're taking a drug that is banned. Like, how did you think that you weren't gonna get caught? Like, even though, like, did you think you weren't gonna get caught because it's a woman's drug for egg reproduction?
Well, actually, Mike, it's actually a combination of drugs. The drug he was caught using is a masking agent for the steroids he was using. So,
because he was also, what was it, clomiphene?
That's the masking agent. Yes.
Yeah, that's the masking agent. It's also used to treat infertility in women who do not ovulate, right?
Yes. Right.
So
he was either trying to get pregnant, or he was trying to mask his steroid use. So pretty clear to me. I mean, he doesn't look like the type of guy. Mind you, having seen there's a meme out there of him, a really funny one. But we shouldn't make fun of these people because they work so hard. They're so dedicated, passionate. No, guys like him sully the sport. They make us look bad. And everyone wants to know, are all boxers like that? Do they all take drugs? Well, I think it happens probably in every sport. I'm going to hazard a guess. There's going to be a bad apple. But if I were Eddie Hearn, I'd make all of my boxers take the test twice, 3 times, whatever. What is it? Pee into the jar kind of test? Like, at the end of the day, it's not like they're taking blood or anything. It's these guys are boxers. Come on. What, are you scared to take a test? And if you are, why are you scared to take a test? Because anyway, I'm just saying Eddie Hearn should make a move here, prove himself to be the leader that he thinks he is, and have all of his boxers tested. That's what I think.
Honestly, Sean Porter says he wants Conor Benn to come clean and admit he was using performance-enhancing drugs because it just makes him look worse if he hides it anymore.
Right.
Like, this is crazy.
And all I'm saying is it just casts that long shadow on all boxers.
Yeah, man. It's like,
okay, just think about it. For the past year, we've been talking about boxing turning the corner, whether it's because of Jake Paul, whether it's because of the women in the game. At the end of the day, we've been talking about the improvement in the game, the improvement in the game on behalf of the fans, the number of fans that are increasing, the Creator Clash series where all those YouTubers fight each other, raised over $1 million for all those special charities. That was great. Boxing was really on the increase in terms of popularity, and then comes Conor Benn to burst the bubble.
Yeah. Like, it's things like that, like with boxing, it's on a steady, slow climb, and then you get something like this, and it's just like it just ruins it. It's upsetting. It's upsetting that he allowed himself. You know what? If you're cheating, man, you suck at it. If you're gonna cheat, don't get caught, man. Come on. Right. You know what I mean? If you're going to cheat and you have to cheat because it betters the way that you feel about yourself because you're going into this fight and you're not confident in your ability to beat Chris Eubank.
Right.
So this is why you're taking these drugs. Don't get caught doing it. And then when you get caught doing it, you admit that you weren't taking the crap at all. Like, you failed 2 tests. Admit the crap already, man, because it's just making you look bad. It's making you look bad. And on top of that, think about all the people that were on that card that spent money out of their own pocket to get ready for that card, man. At the end of the day, what I think should happen when he does get proven guilty, he should be suspended, and he should have to pay back everybody all that money that they lost out of their own pockets, man. That's what should happen. You want to stop fighters from doing this? Cool. You got to fork out $4 million in prize money, and you got to fork out all the money that these people paid for the last 3 months in their training camp to come to this card.
I'm
Like,
surprised we've not heard of any lawsuits. If I were one of those undercard boxers, I'd be suing the shit out of that
One
guy.
of his managers.
Yeah.
I wonder if his managers in a
And that's exactly what we were saying, Tim. You know, Matchroom needs to prove a point, and Matchroom need to issue an edict and say, "Hey, all my boxers, I want y'all to take a test, get clean, and prove yourself clean, and let's get on with the business of boxing, which is a great sport."
I believe our boy Matty Harris was on that card too, wasn't he? He was scheduled to fight heavyweight.
No, that's right.
Yeah, he was on that card, man. You know, like I've been talking to him. He's very upset about certain situations. You know?
The Irish lad Coyle, I think, was on that fight too.
Yeah, there was you know, there's some great fighters that we've talked to that are friends of you know, that our channel here that we support, and you know what, it's upsetting. It's really upsetting that you know, they had to go through that. You know, work so hard.
Yeah.
You know, because these guys, we know these guys that we talk to on a regular basis. We know the dedication and the time and the effort and the money that it costs these guys to get to where they're at and be on these cards. And then you got some goof like Connor Ben who's denying that he took something. Like, honestly, how can you test positive for something if you didn't take it? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, the test says positive. You can't get a positive test unless the thing is in your system. So either you voluntarily took it, or somebody in your sleep might be going
right
up your butt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, or rubbing it in topically. Who knows? Either you gotta blame your training staff or blame your team because they're doping you up without you knowing, and you not knowing are a moron, or you're doing it.
No, he knew. You know what was even funnier leading up to that was the social media presence of Chris Eubank Jr. because he was stuffing himself with all sorts of weird food. And I'm going, what the heck is that about? You know? And he was saying he was training at 60%. And I'm going, what the heck? So, I mean, I think he must have known, or his team must have known. What I am surprised is that they didn't reach out to BIBA, the British Irish Boxing Authority, and get them to sanction the event if in fact Connor Ben was truly clean as he says he was, but obviously he wasn't. I mean, even Matchroom knew he wasn't. They couldn't get clearance from either BIBA or any other sanctioning body. I mean, could they have moved it offshore? Given all that money at stake, you know, how much would it have cost to fly everyone over to Malta? You know, yeah, I don't know, but you know, pick a neutral country if he truly was clean, or move the entire undercard to Saudi Arabia. I think the Saudis would have picked up that fight. Sure, they would have.
Oh, of course they would have.
But
that was a moneymaker. That was
exactly.
a huge moneymaker. You're talking.
Look at the competition.
A family rivalry that was started in the 90s, right? And then we got the next generation of those guys starting a new rivalry, man. That could have lasted years. Could have been a three-peat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been. You know what the interesting rivalry is now? Between the UAE and Saudi Arabia. These guys are pumping millions in two separate countries. Both of them are pumping a ton of money into boxing and a ton of money to get big names into boxing over there.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're telling me that a sheikh couldn't have come along with a couple $1 million and said, hey, all you boxers, all your teams, take my private jets, take 10 of my private jets, come over here to Jeddah and fight.
Honestly, they're paying $500,000 to sit front row. Why not? Right?
That's you know, there's so many weird points left up in the air in the wake of Connor Ben's decision to take drugs.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the bottom line. I mean, yeah, we could they have found another sanctioning body? Probably.
Yeah.
Could they have flown en masse to some kingdom in the Middle East? Probably.
For sure.
You know, could they have continued even to fight in England without the main event? Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, but
But
here's,
then,
here,
then you got an unsanctioned exhibition tournament.
no. The only thing that wouldn't have been sanctioned would have been the main event.
Yeah, which would have been that would have been hilarious. See these two battle each other out for no position, no good, like nothing.
So there was lots of. My point is, there's lots of what ifs that surround it, and someone at the end of the day pulled the plug. And I'm gonna hazard a guess here and say this. Here's what I'll hazard a guess, seeing we've run out of time.
Yeah,
I'll say they made an offer to BIBA. Okay, that's the British Irish Boxing Authority. Okay, we know some guys who work with those people. They're good people. Put on some good independent fights. But I'll bet BIBA got a little greedy and said, "Yeah, sure, we'll be happy to sanction the event." In the wake of the BBBOC saying, "No, we won't do it. We're going to suspend it." Blah blah blah. BIBA came along, probably, yeah, okay, give us $17 million and we'll be happy. Sorry, 17 million pounds, and we'll be happy to sanction it. And someone over at Matchroom went, "No fucking way."
Yeah, right. They're like, no, cancel. They canceled that before anybody could do anything.
But that's why I'm surprised there's no lawsuits. I'm really surprised.
Honestly, I think what they're waiting for is for the investigation to be over, and then I think we're going to see some lawsuits come up from this one for sure. There are too many teams that lost too much money, and this put a hiccup in everybody's journey, man. It's just it's affected everybody that was on that card. Everybody on that card, is positioning themselves for future events. This event not happening has caused a hiccup in those future events. So
it's been, as Sugar would say, it's put a black eye on the sport of boxing. Yeah. It's going to take, actually, it might take us 24 hours to recover, because after the women battle it out tomorrow night, let alone seeing Deontay Wilder fall to Robert Helenius, let alone seeing the Devin Haney-Kambosos fight.
Right. We got lots of boxing, so we're not worried. And guys, I'm gonna remind you just before we get out of here. Paro Jarvis on DAZN, October 15th, 4 a.m. Eastern Time. McGrail Espinoza, probellum.com, October 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Yep. Shields Marshall, ESPN Sky Sports, Fight TV, October 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Haney Kambosos, Fight and ESPN Plus, October 15th, 9 p.m. Robert Helenius, Deontay Wilder, Fight and Fox PPV, October 15th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So there you go, guys. There are your fights for the weekend to watch. Thank you for joining us for this week's Friday night panel. Graham, always a pleasure.
Dedicated to Carl over at Last Bell Boxing.
Yeah, that's it. Carl, Last Bell Boxing. Where you at, brother? You know what it is, guys, man. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode. Thanks for Tim. Hopefully you get your phone fixed for next week. Too many technical difficulties. We would have loved to hear your 2 cents on this whole Conor Benn situation, because we know the whole world's talking about it. But guys, remember all the fights this weekend that you get to watch. So just don't worry about Conor Benn anymore, man. Let's concentrate on the future. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel, new topics. Peace.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, man.